Bonjour class. I'm having to record from the kitchen today, so please forgive the washing machine sounds or the dishwasher sounds if they come over through the microphone. But today we're going to be going over some vocabulary for le lycée. Now, lycée in French means high school, and believe it or not, fun quirk. You all are actually college students in French because in French, middle school is collège. But that being said, this is a high school credit course, so we are going to be going over some high school classes. We're going to take a look at all of these on this vocab list, along with some things about like the general school. And then after that, we'll talk about what your assignment is for today that uses the material that you were supposed to be reviewing on Monday and Tuesday. Now, let's go through these together. Please repeat after me as we go through them, just so that way you can practice saying them. And let's begin. So we have l'anglais, les mathématiques, le français, l'espagnol, l'allemand, la littérature, les sciences physiques, la physique, la chimie, la biologie, le travail sur bois, le dessin, l'informatique, la musique, la géographie, l'histoire, l'éducation physique et sportive. I'll say that one again, don't worry. L'éducation physique et sportive, or EPS. Le cours de cuisine. So let's go through these courses first. So our first one here, anglais, is English, but, you need to remember, this is in the context of a French school. So when we talk about English in the context of a French school, we don't mean ELA like what we do here in the United States. We mean actual English class in the same way that you all are in French class. So anglais here means English class, like where I'm learning to speak English. Next, les mathématiques, that's going to be math. Notice that in French, les mathématiques is plural. So this is actually a thing in British English as well. American English is one of the few subjects where we don't pluralize math by default, but we do, when we say it out loud as the full word, mathematics, that is a plural word in American English. But when we say it just as the normal course name, we say math, right, singular. But in French, it's plural. Le français, that's going to be French. That could be French literature or speaking French, right? As in like a speech class. Espagnol, Spanish. L'allemand, German. La littérature, that's going to be more like your ELA class, right? Literature class, where you're studying books and different writings. Les sciences physiques, that's going to be physical science. La physique, that's going to be physics. For those of you who don't know what physics is the study of the physical forces of our world and how they interact with each other. Chimie is chemistry. Biologie is biology. Travail sur bois. Travail means work. Sur bois means with or on wood. And so travail sur bois means woodworking. We could also consider this shop class, right? If you know what that is, where you have different materials and different tools that you're learning to work with. The dessin is drawing. L'informatique is computer science. So computer science class. La musique, that's going to be music. La géographie, that's going to be geography. I don't even know how I put that bracket in there. All right, l'histoire is going to be history. Notice that that's a cognate. L'éducation physique et sportive. Sportive kind of gives it away. This is physical education, or as we call it in American English, PE. And then finally, le cours de cuisine. That's going to be, oh no, what have I done? Le cours de cuisine, that's going to be a cooking class, right? Like how to cook. Now, over on the right side, please répétez s'il vous plaît. Please repeat after me. Let's go through these together. We have une salle de classe, la bibliothèque, la cantine, le terrain de sport, le gymnase, une salle de prof, le documentaliste, la documentaliste, le directeur, la directrice, le professeur, l'enseignant, l'enseignante. So, let's go through these. Une salle de classe, salle in French means room, so salle de classe means a classroom. La bibliothèque, that's going to be your library. This is very similar to the Spanish word, right? Like biblioteca. Weird quirk. So we've talked before about how programs like Google Translate have a weakness where they don't tell you the exact meaning of the word that you're using. So a way that happens in reverse that's a bit confusing in French is that if you were a French person and you were trying to look up what the word for a bookshelf is, that is also bibliothèque. So library and bookshelf are actually the same word in French, bibliothèque. So just know that confusion can happen even in other languages. La cantine, that's going to be your cafeteria. Cafeteria. There we go. Le terrain de sport, that's going to be sports field. Gymnase, that's going to be your gym. And une salle de prof, so salle, we said earlier, means room. Salle de prof means a teacher's, we call it the lounge, right? But like a teacher's lounge or a workroom. Now, interesting cultural thing. Very brief, so that way you all can have some time to work on the assignment. Actually, you know what? No. I know that you're probably split today. I'm going to take my time and talk about the thing. So, a lot of times when we're talking about concepts like this, it's very tempting to assume that the way that it works in the other country is the same as the way it works in our country. And that is not the case for this bit in particular. And here's what I mean. So in American culture, if you wanted to find me in the school, you would come to my room, right? So if it was a period where you didn't have me as a teacher, but you needed to find me in the school somewhere, you come to my classroom. In France, that's not really how it works. So at high school level and also at middle school level, the teachers have a room that they go to that is their office. That is their location that they go to between classes. And instead of you moving between classes, like we do in American systems, you would be in the same room with everyone every single day, and the teacher comes to you instead. And that way, only the teachers are circulating between the classrooms. Now, as a student, you, in between classes, could walk out of the room, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. But when you have class, it would still be in that same room. And the teachers would be the ones rotating. And this changes some things that are kind of interesting. So, for instance, teachers don't decorate the rooms in France because it's not their room. It's everyone's room. So they just don't decorate things. And teachers also have very strict, like, office hours, right? So it's like, as teachers, we would all be, Oreo, are you going to jump up here, or are you just going to stare at the counter? Come on. Come on. Jump up. Are you going to jump up? You don't want to jump up? Okay. So, sorry, the cat is just staring at me and wanting to jump up on the counter, but she's not doing it. Come on, Oreo. No, she doesn't want to do it. Okay. And so these cultural norms exist, and I'll try to point them out when they happen. But this one about, like, the classroom being the space of the teacher versus the classroom being the space that the class is taught, and exclusively just where the class is taught, is very different from how American schools approach things. So next we have some school staff. So our first one is le and la documentaliste. You're going to use le for masculine and la for feminine. Documentaliste means librarian, right? The person who works with documents. Documentaliste. Directeur, directrice, that's going to be your principal. Notice that there's a masculine and a feminine form. So directeur is going to be your male principal, and directrice is going to be your female principal. Professeur means professor. If you have a high school level teacher or higher, that person is called professeur in French. And then enseignant, enseignante is the generic term for teacher. Notice that there's two different genders for it. Okay, so we've looked at some different school things here. Now, let's start pulling things together. So you have an assignment for today. And I think that this assignment is going to be fairly easy. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But what you're going to do is you're going to tell me your schedule for school and what times you have classes for school. So that sentence, you should have all the tools in order to do it. Let's go over them. So let's say that you had, I know this isn't true for any of you, so don't put this as part of your answer. Let's say that you had French class first thing in the morning. Okay, first period, you had French class. So how do we say I have in French? I'll give you a sec to say it out loud. Okay, I know you said j'ai because you're all smart cookies and I know you got this. So j'ai, right, means I have. And then you would say French, as in French language class. So which of these terms on the left is French for French language class? That's going to be le français. Then we need to say the time that we have it at. So that's going to be à, which means at or to. So in this context, it's going to mean at. And then we're going to put the time. And I don't need you to worry about writing out the numbers. We don't do that. That's not a thing. So you're going to write them in the French style. Technically, the French style is that there should be a 0 at the front of the number, but if you leave that off, I'm not going to judge you. It's okay. So I have my first period. Then I would have my second period. So I would say j'ai, and then I would say the next class that I have and the time that it's at, and so on going through. This shouldn't be too difficult for you. You should have it done in a moment. Now, after you have finished this, if you need something to do, if you don't have something from another class to work on, I'm going to give you a little preview of tomorrow's topic. Tomorrow's topic is about the differences in how the school day is structured in France versus the United States. And if you want something that would be like a good YouTube content sort of thing to look through, like some things to watch different videos of people talking about it and explaining it, this would be a great topic for you to do some additional personal research on today. Tomorrow, we'll look at some examples of French schedules and talk about how they work and what's going on with them. But for right now, I just want to be sure that we understand our vocabulary and that we understand how to use it in context like we have here for the sentences. Be sure that you put these sentences for all your periods of the day in the text response for today's assignment so that you can get credit. I have not yet heard any update from the IT department about the status of any of the erased work from the merging of classes and things. But just know, you know me, you know I'm not going to mess you up or anything with your grade. I will make sure everything works out for you for your favor. So don't sweat it. Focus on the stuff that's right in front of you. Definitely do not go back and redo all the work that you did. That's not what I'm asking you to do. Well, with that said, I hope you all have a nice day. I will see you tomorrow, and au revoir.